Powell, City Hall Bureau Chief with City and State. Joining me on today's City and State TV is Chris Erikson. He's the business manager of the Local 3, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Thanks for joining us today, Chris.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
So we're here to talk about this kind of big news that broke this week about the Labor Day parade for the first time in its 132-year history, I believe, is allowing non-union workers to march in the parade. So from your perspective, why is the time right now for this to happen? What was there anything that kind of led up to this moment, or how, can you kind of take us through that a little bit?
You know, as I reflect on it, the AFL-CIO convention has taken a similar track. You know, in LA this year, Trumpka has kind of embraced workers that are not traditionally organized members of the AFL-CIO and are bringing them into the fold. And so I would say as unionization becomes harder and harder to happen, given all of the complexities of that, the fact that you know, working people are defined by what we do. We go to work every day. We need a paycheck. And so to give workers that probably would want to be organized if they could, you know, the opportunity to march with organized labor, I think that's pretty good for them. And it's an interesting concept, and it's going to be a good march.
Why do you think it took so long for this to happen? And I mean, it seems like there's a lot of kind of unionization movements going on, not only in the city, obviously, but nationwide. So what was there kind of a stigma that had to be broken there with the non-union workers?
Yeah, I don't know that it was a stigma. I think it's the dynamic that as the traditional organized trade unions membership shrinks, something has to fill that vacuum. And that's what's happening today with the independent workers unions and car wash arrows and others that are out there struggling every day and are looking for some dignity and some security. I think it was probably time that the labor movement said, come on in, right. You know, it's the right time.
And talk to me specifically as it pertains to the parade. The Labor Day parade is a huge moment in New York City. It draws hundreds, thousands of people. Why this? I mean, obviously, you know, the significance of Labor Day is kind of an obvious angle there. But why was this kind of the moment where you know it was kind of right for the merging of non-union and union workers?
Again, I don't know that it was designed to be that way. I think it's just a matter of those are the facts. If you just look out there, what's happening and where are the labor battles, you know, they're in new places. Working men and women want recognition. They want better conditions. They want a better life. We all want to be able to take care of our families, provide education for our children, including that guy that pushes your car through the car wash. And so I think it's just a dynamic of it's now, you know, the theme for the parade, one city, 5 boroughs. There's a lot of workers out there that need to be protected. And the labor movement, and I give Vinny Alvarez a lot of credit to say, come on in, you know, be part of something. Working America, other groups that are advocating for workers outside of the traditional organized labor structure, they're working. And it's a void that needed to be filled. And so I'm happy to see that it's happening. We welcome them, and we wish them success, and we support them in their efforts.
Now, the de Blasio administration has been kind of largely characterized as very labor-friendly. Did they have any involvement in kind of the decision for non-union workers to march in the Labor Day parade?
I don't know that. I'm not privy to that conversation. Vinny Alvarez, our president of the CLC, I'm sure has had some discussions. There are a number of organizations that are probably a little closer to the mayor than we are. Stewie Applebaum, of course, is very active in that arena, 32BJ and others. And so I don't know that the mayor was the one that said open the doors or not. I think it was just the timing was right.
Now, obviously, the parade the parade with non-union workers is a great step, but I guess I'm sure you would agree that you don't want it to necessarily take away from kind of shining a light on their fights to unionize, just as a larger organization. So, can you maybe shed light on some of the stuff that's going on the ground with the car wash workers, fast food workers, and kind of what they're going through right now with their battles to unionize?
I'm not on the ground with them. I get the news city and state like a lot of people do, and I'm not actively involved in any of those campaigns. So I really am not in a position to tell you from the inside perspective. I do know this, though, as one group gains recognition and other workers see the success that they had when they've come together to organize. My grandfather was Harry Van Arsdale Jr. He was the president of the Central Labor Council for many, many years. And Harry would say a couple of things. If you want to know what the labor movement's going to look like 10 years from now, take the subway. And that came to bear fruit. The diversity in our great city is in every union. There's no question about it. And he would also say is, what chance does a worker have, even with the union? He's got little chance. But without a union, he has no chance. And so those workers in these non-traditional building trades or traditionally organized sectors of our industry and our economy, there's a void there for them. And so I wish them success. I'm going to support them where I can. The strength of Local 3 comes to bear. In history, will bear it out. When the hospital workers were organizing, Harry was the president of the Central Labor Council. Leon Davis was the head of 1199, and it was the strength of other unions that were well set that brought that about. Same with the teachers and taxi drivers in New York City as well. And so as the traditional unions start to weaken, they're encouraged, I think, to watch that fight and are willing to jump in to help those workers. We've been taught, again, in Local 3, help those less fortunate. And so we're here to do that, and we're going to do it well.
Chris Erikson, the business manager of Local 3, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Thank you for joining us today.
Okay, you're welcome. Take care.
Yeah.